Welcome to the Christmas edition of the SprintCarLimited.com podcast, which means another hour with Tyler Swank. I'm Jeremy Elliott. Tyler, how are you doing?
I'm good. We got to keep the unwashed masses entertained during the stressful Christmas season.
Yeah, I like the whole backdrop you have in your new shop. I feel very you put me to shame a little bit.
Yeah, we're kind of like Target, and you're like Dollar General.
Maybe lower.
Yeah,
Maybe
what
lower.
is lower? Is that be the Dollar Tree or
Yeah,
Goodwill?
Family Dollar.
Family Dollar. I've never heard of Is that like East? Is that like Sheets? They
Yeah,
only got that on the East Coast. Is Family Dollar on the East Coast?
yeah. That's pretty much it. I'm in my
Yeah,
apartment, 650 square feet. That's probably your bathroom at that place.
yeah. The boss really outkicked these covers when he built us a shop. It's been really nice being in here and being able to try to make stuff happen.
Let me see that sweatshirt. I gotta see what's on the sweatshirt.
It's Ric Flair. It's a Ric
Oh
Flair Christmas sweatshirt.
my god.
Styling and profiling.
Oh, that's you. That fits
Yeah,
you.
pretty much. That's for I'm a big pro wrestling fan, so
Oh, huge,
I thought it
huge.
was fitting.
Yeah, I guess that's what the Gateway Nationals turned into at the Dome.
Yeah, I kind of read some this and that on the old interweb, but I didn't. Man, I can't get into taxi cabs.
Wow, that makes two of us. It's okay.
Yeah,
It's the not all the big names were there. I mean, the Dome thing is a gimmick to me. I'm not a big gimmick guy. So,
yeah.
you
Well,
know,
if I wanted to watch a bunch of freaking people bash into each other, I'd go down to the local VFW and watch Fight Night.
yeah, no kidding. Or go to
Yeah.
Dingus.
Yeah, dingus. They don't fight too much up there anymore. I haven't heard of nothing. During the non-racing season, I think the crowd's about our age or older.
Ah,
So
yeah.
there's not a lot of testosterone pumping, I don't think. So I haven't heard of any good stories coming out of there lately. So that's probably good.
Been there, done that. We're all past that.
Pretty much. Yeah. Been there, done that, got the shirt. Now my chair calls me all the time.
It's called you for the Vikings this year. It's been up and down. I got to ask you about the Vikings oh no, look at that.
Ah.
Kirk Cousins went down. I like
Well, I think we see how valuable Kirk is now.
going to get a new deal.
And I'm a huge Kevin O'Connell fan, but the
Mhm.
guy can't call when it gets down to crunch time or tight game. I think he needs to work on that. So I don't know. It's been frustrating. Last year they won every, close game. They were like 13-4. Now we're 7-7, and we've lost every close game. But I think I read something today where the only NFC team to not really get their ass kicked. So every team's pretty much had a night where they got annihilated. The Vikings haven't had that. They've pretty much beat themselves every game. So you'll have that, I guess. So it is what it is, man. You know what? Every time my sports teams struggle, my racing's really good the next year. So maybe this is a sign.
There you go.
Yeah, look at that, Tyler, with glass half full. Glass half full.
And you segued it. You're like a professional.
Yeah, I'm
So
getting good at this.
you guys hired Corey Eliason.
Correct.
And look, I talked to you frequently, I'd say, and you guys have flown under the radar a little bit, I think. And there's been some people like, why Corey? I think maybe his stock is down. I know you kind of indicated that there's a little bit of a chip going into 2024 because of Corey's just kind of being overlooked a little bit.
Yeah, which isn't always a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to fly under the radar, and he's had kind of a rough go here the last handful of years, and trust me, I feel his pain. I mean, our RSR deal here is about the most stable thing I've had, and probably really since the Canaric deal.
Yeah.
So, I understand that being a underdog, and which I don't. It's fine if no one's talking about us. I don't care. That's perfectly fine. I think, I hope that there's a lot of talent maybe that hasn't been untapped there or something. I know he told me the other day, he goes, he goes, don't take this as an old joke, but he says, you're the oldest, most experienced guy that I've ever worked with. And I'm like, really? And he goes, yeah. So I don't know I guess if he's worked with all these young guys and done pretty decent, I think he could probably maybe work with the old guy and I can probably ruin that for him. So, but no, I know everybody. I think we're between the two series, we're the newest combination, or or I would say the new, between him and I don't think there's any new
No.
driver swap. Yeah. So, we still got that learning curve. And as all the young bucks in this sport say, you got to build a notebook. So there's no notebook. So we'll see what happens. I don't mind flying under the radar or any of that. So we got a good car owners. I got very above average help to help me. So we'll see we'll see. Jordan just walked by and he heard me call him just barely above average, and I got flipped off. So that's why I said that. But no, I got good help, and we'll see what happens. I look for both teams to be successful, and or 80 race schedule, you're going to go through your peaks and valleys and your ups and downs, but let's see what happens. It's going to be interesting. I think everybody here is motivated. So, which you should be motivated all the time. I've preached that before, but there might be a little extra chip there.
Corey hasn't been in a stable situation. For you, most stable situation since Caneric. I agree with that. And then he's coming to a stable situation. Not that the 26 wasn't stable, but they went through crew chiefs. They had a midget guy crew in the car at one point, which that can't work. I'd say he's probably pretty happy to be in a situation with an experienced guy where he knows he has time. I mean, he's not going to get fired halfway through the season.
No, and I don't think I'm speaking out of line. We have a 2-year commitment with him. We're gonna promised him 2 years, and I assume with that, hopefully, I can milk another 2 years out of this. If I make it to May, I think it's May 30th or June 5th or something like that. That'll be if I make it a day past that. That'll be the longest I've ever made it with a race team.
Wow.
So yeah, so when people ask me what your goals this year, let's not try not to get fired. No. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Little
think your two
stability's good.
personalities are good.
Yeah, we kind of both have the same sense of humor, and we speak the same language. We have the same terminology, and we kind of have the same philosophies on stuff to where, hey, you just get it. He told me, I said, well, how do you want this? He goes, just get it in the corner. And he goes, I'll figure out how to get it off. He goes, don't worry
There
about
you
being
go.
yeah. Yeah, he goes, don't worry about. He goes, if it's good or decent, just leave it alone. He goes, don't try to make it perfect, because he goes, I'd rather have something that's 60% in the heat race in the dash, and if you fine tune on it, that's fine. But he goes, don't throw the kitchen sink at it, because then you're giving me something completely different. He goes, I got to figure it out, because he goes, in the heat race or the dash, he goes, I'll have an idea what I need to do, and then we'll just make the best of the night and go on to the next one. And it's like, well, that's kind of refreshing to hear, because I think a lot of us, and I know Aaron and I were guilty of it. And there's a lot of teams where you got something, you just need a little something, something. And then instead of just, hey, let's just take our top 5 and go on, you try to swing for the fences and you end up striking out. So he's old. He's older than I thought he was. I thought he was in his late 20s, but I think he's 31 or 32 or something like that. And he's got a little business out there. And, Brownsburg. So if anybody needs any fabrication or titanium welded or any powder coating done, when he gets back from Australia, get a hold of Corey, and him and Walleye Farmer will take care of it for you and go from there.
Look at you with the gratuitous plug.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah, shameless plug.
Yeah, no kidding. I do think Corey's an old school guy. I think he kind of carved his way out of California on his own. I definitely earned his way. So I think that fits your mold. You've been around a long time, and it kind of leads us into this high limit World of Outlaws stuff. You've been around since, oh God, 90s?
97.
Yeah, 97. You were through the 2006 thing, with NST, the World of Outlaws. Is this different? Everybody's talking about it. We might as well talk about it. I feel this is way different than NST. How do you look at it? Because you were kind of involved in all that.
Well, in 2005, I think it was Richard Petty came to them guys and wanted to start the National Sprint League or something. I was at home trying to quit, but I was still up to speed on everything that was going on. So that year I went to work for Rudines with Shane Stewart. Well, they decided to do let's back up. So Richard and I don't remember who else was involved. It was Richard.
Brown
I feel
Steel.
no, Fred didn't come in till later. I don't remember who originally, got the ball rolling here. Well, they all of a sudden showed no interest for whatever the reason. So I got there was a conference call one day and I was on it about, all the drivers that had committed or the teams that had committed were on this to see if they were still want to do it or to keep it rolling. Because I'm trying to go back. So he was on that conference call, and if everybody agreed to try to keep going, he would take the lead. Well, he had a little schedule for us. It was like 30 races for the first year or whatever. Well, then he had a month, and we finished the year. That was kind of done on a wing and a prayer. No, Kyle, I think they kind of maybe had this vision a little sooner than what they did. I don't know for sure before they did the 12 races last year, but they've kind of baby stepped into it a little bit. I mean, they're full send right now, but they just didn't pull this out of their ass and try to pull it off 2 months later. I think they have a business plan. I think they got some people behind them, and we'll see what happens. I don't see any reason it can't be successful. I really don't see any reason the Outlaws can't be successful. So we'll see. There's a lot of money to be made on both sides. So we'll just try to get a little piece of that pie.
Did you ever imagine that there'd be this much money in sprint car racing? You've been, like I said, you've been around a long time. You've seen a lot of things. You've seen the TNN days. You've seen, obviously NST. You've seen the Outlaws grow. Uh, Man, I never thought I'd see this amount of money in this sport.
No, 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 they're throwing it around. I'll give them that. We're like in the middle of a modern day cock off.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So yeah, so I don't know. It's right now. It's good for the race teams, and hopefully it's good for RSR, and to be selfish, I hope it's good for Tyler's pocketbook too. So we'll see. I think their business plan and whatnot's really good. In their plan, this whole charter thing's very interesting. But who knows? Sometimes there's different ways to skin a cat. It just depends on who we're skinning, whose cat we're skinning. So
Yeah, and I think they got 2 years to kind of build it for the
yeah,
charter system. Number one, I think that's good. And I think, look, they have money people behind us. You brought up a good point, the business flow being involved.
right,
Look, this is all happening because of streaming.
right.
This isn't, and I do.
Wouldn't that be crazy if like Pornhub and Watchers Web or whatever they got now would have some sort of streaming war? Never
No,
mind. Keep talking.
no, 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 no. Hey,
Went to
I'm
the
all
gutter for a second.
when it,
Yeah.
maybe you'll see that on a sprint or on a Tyler Swank sprint car.
Yeah, I've always wanted to. I thought it'd always be cool to have Priscilla's as a sponsor. The adult, that adult bookstore you remember of?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. That's
yeah,
it.
that one. Yeah,
But don't tell anyone.
I won't.
I'm in the preferred membership.
Preferred,
Yeah, I'm a preferred member.
discreet,
Yes,
preferred.
discreet. It's
Yeah, I
flat.
remember back in the day. I've had friends tell me this, but when you'd get Playboy or Hustler or Penthouse through the mail, it would always come in like a black
Yeah,
plastic wrapping, so no one would know what it is. And it's like, come on,
I
that's
have
not
my
good housekeeping.
I have my own platinum agreement.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you're a charter member.
I'm a
You
charter
got
man.
a charter.
I'm my own charter.
Yeah, we
Uh,
always go straight to the gutter, don't we?
oh, it happens. It's Christmas.
It is Christmas. Yeah,
It's Christmas.
it's
Um,
appropriate we talk about things to do with packages.
ooh.
Yeah, all right, go ahead.
Do you have any concerns for sprint car racing over this thing? I mean, I have
It's
concerns over tracks and what fans are being charged. With so many big races, when's that bubble pop as far as how many times you're going to pay $40 for a ticket or $50 or whatever it is, and then you got a family and all that. That's my concern. Do you have any concerns with this at all with the way things are going right now?
that's one of them. Um, right now there's no I don't know what you would call it, but a step between the local level and like a professional level. Like you could maybe call it a feeder series or minor league, which we always, that's whether people want to like it or not. That's what the All Stars always was.
Yeah.
Someone that needs to learn how to travel, learn how to race different tracks, but they're not getting their teeth kicked in every night. So that kind of concerns me. I kind of hope this fast thing can maybe take off a little bit in Ohio. The All Stars was always that. I didn't just looking at their model there for a while. They were the original Ohio working man's series.
Right.
You could work a job, but then you could race 60 times a year, the whole deal. But then they all of a sudden transplanted themselves in Pennsylvania. I didn't think that was very good for them, but I guess that's water under the bridge now. But the local racing kind of, bothers me a little bit, that they're suffering. And like for example, like the Brian Groves in Ohio and some of them teams that could follow a series that it's one, they're not close anymore, and two, their both series are pretty freaking solid. So it's going to be hard for guys that maybe are a little better than to be on the local level, but aren't ready to make the jump or financially can't do it. I think they might be out there in racers purgatory just a little bit, but I mean, we'll see. This is a whole bunch of we'll see. And the other thing too, my grandpa Swank always said, "Those who shit big don't shit long." So I hope with all this money they're throwing around, the bottom just don't fall out eventually.
I I that
I don't see it happening,
right.
but you never know. I mean,
And
it.
grandfather's smart because I've heard that expression as well from my grandfather, and
Yeah,
I just think with the money behind high limit with flow, I don't think they're going to allow that. And then I also think the World of Outlaws has been around so long, I don't think they're going anywhere. And Dirt Vision now, I wouldn't be surprised if the Dirt Vision model changes. I'm going to be writing about track costs, series costs, what it is to hold one of these events, and kind of the model they're using. And High Limit is a little different. They share a rights rev share with the track, which is based off, streaming. So, and Dirt Vision doesn't do that. And I have to wonder how long that can continue because look, all these tracks talk, just like all you guys in the pit area talk. Or I should say I'm
yeah,
in the pit area too. So, but we all
right.
talk. And I have to wonder, when you go to that what is it, RPM down in Florida, you know, PRI and whatnot, when does that get out and then people start complaining?
Me, no, no, not my old age. Not when you start hearing the gossip about you that ain't true. I used to be into the whole scoop shit, but now I'm not so much. I could care less what everybody else is doing.
Do you have to do that as a crew chief nowadays? Is it one of
Yeah.
those things where you got to really watch what you're told because you get bad information in the pit area or somebody's? I mean, does that go on?
You mean like, like if so, like car wise and stuff, like what
Yeah.
somebody's. I think so. I think sometimes what I do with myself. I mean, you got guys that'll go interview everybody in the pit area and see what they're doing and all that crap. And some of them are really good about manipulating them to you know do different things and hey, you talk them into probably not kind of fibbing a little bit. There's a game within the game, but for me, I have like 2 or 3 people I talk to in the industry, and I just do my own thing. Because anytime I've ever tried to copy what somebody else is doing, it never works out.
I talked to Ricky Warner this year, and he said keeping it basic and working on the basics is really the most important thing.
Yes. Well, because you get rolling and, you're going good and all that. Well, we all do it. We'll all of a sudden have 2 or 3 weeks where we suck. Well, we think we're smarter than what we are, and we try reinventing the wheel, and then we start running decent again, and they're like, "Well, what did you change?" "Well, nothing. We just went back to what works." I mean, it's the formula is always there. It's always about blocking and tackling. Quote Vince
Yep.
Lombardi, blocking and tackling.
No, and I
If
think
you
I always hear it in here. Oh, there's a trick. The more tricks you use, the more out to lunch you are.
Yeah, tricks are for kids.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I've been around long enough to know that when I hear that term in the pit, and I hear it along with others,
Yeah.
that you're searching that, and the guys who aren't the Ricky Warners, I've heard you when you were rolling with Caneric, and even other times, I've talked to other guys. It's just getting the basics and just keep doing it.
Yeah, you just find what works and hope your engines run and hope the guy can put it on the right spot of the track, and you'll have a good result.
Well, that's going to wrap up our first segment, SprintCarLimited.com Christmas version of the podcast. We're with Tyler Swank, and we'll be back with another segment. Stay tuned. Welcome to segment 2, SprintCarLimited.com Christmas edition of the podcast. We're here with Tyler Swank. We do this every year. It's always fun. Tyler, I'm a little under the weather. I got these.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, I got these pills, and they're real small, which is great. And it's been like this for about 2.5 weeks.
Are
I just had this.
they the little blue pills for your erectile dysfunction?
No. My erectile's fine. That's not an issue.
Okay. All right.
No, I have a chest
I
cold
know.
on me.
The last time I went to the doc, well, yeah, you got that cough thing going on. I was getting concerned. Everybody I know sick. It's crazy. They got COVID or influenza B or something.
Malaria. But
Yeah.
I got these pills,
Yeah.
and I love these. I love these things. The side effects. It's great. You may have diarrhea, and I'm like, how's that helping me?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
This will cure your cough, but we're gonna give you the shits and a headache.
it's just the worst. It's like
Yeah.
those commercials for something, and it goes might cause rectal bleeding and ulcers. Talk to your physician.
You know what else causes rectal bleeding? Prison.
Prison. Yeah.
So I've been told.
Well, I didn't know if you had firsthand knowledge, but um, so
No. I read a lot. I read a lot.
I do like that. Were you at the Iowa caucuses? Were you doing your politics out there, going to all these wackadoos, talking? As a Republican, it's hard, man. Those debates are painful.
Oh, I kind of try to keep up with it, but they all say the same shit just in a different way. It's our American political system's sad, just terrible on both sides, and I can't believe our options are this. And actually, the guy that I actually liked didn't have a chance in hell. He dropped out like 2 months ago. So
Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
on the Nikki Haley train right now, but man, it's tough because obviously, to me, if you don't debate, you should be out.
correct. I agree.
You're done. That's it. You
Yeah.
know, and if you have felonies, you're out. If you have, I said I got into it with Danny Dietrich. We all know Danny Dietrich. I got
Oh,
into
yeah.
it with Danny Dietrich, and he wanted Biden impeached, and I said, for what? I'm like, the problem is everybody supports these bozos, and then nobody, nothing changes. Just don't support
No.
any of them. Then it'll
Right.
change. You know,
Yeah.
if you don't buy T-shirts of your favorite sprint car driver, he's like, guess what? They're not going to be there long because merchandise
Right.
is huge.
No, exactly.
But shifting back to racing, I know people. I wanted to ask you a couple questions I never asked you. Who was the toughest driver that you have ever faced?
Probably when I first got into it, Steve Kinzer and then Donnie Schatz.
What made them so tough? From while you're crewing on cars against them, what made them
Yeah.
so tough?
They're
And
just relentless. They're relentless. They just have that knack of they can take a car that's 60, 70% and make it 80, 90.
it's
So
enough to get by it.
it's enough to get by. And they just like Steve, everybody's got different things that motivate him. Steve always thought he was broke. And every time one of his kids was going to go into college, he needed to pay for college. So, or something like that. Gary, the old redheaded guy that used to work, old, that was probably mean, but shit, he's probably getting up there these days. But when I was young, he was kind of one of the older guys I always kind of talked to. And that's what he said. He goes, when Steve's on his A game, he's got a motorhome payment or a car payment or the dog needed neutered or something like that. And I think Donnie, he just, we've never had this conversation before, but I just think maybe he always feels like he's got something to prove because, they have some very successful businesses and whatnot there, but they have the kill switch. They're just on kill. Lasowski had it for a while. Jason Myers, I sadly he retired too early because I think maybe Donnie wouldn't have the championships. He might have a couple less. So, David, I think they're they always have, I don't know numbers or stats, but I think David's really close to having another 20 some win season. It may not be this year, but I think it's coming because he's kind of a tight ass himself. So,
Oh, he has his
yeah.
first
So,
win.
oh yeah, which hey, if that's what motivates you, have at it. I like guys that want money. I
Yeah,
want money.
I love.
So, yeah.
What will Donnie get back on top?
I don't know if it'll ever be the way it was, but I still think he's got a couple championships left in him. I mean, maybe that's just hope. I'm hoping, you know. Ricky, we always knew he was good and he should be a first ballot Hall of Famer, but is it, was Ricky maybe more valuable than we thought? I don't know. It's hard to say. I hope he does because I'm a huge Donnie fan. We all know that, but
Yeah, you are.
I don't know. The last couple of years, every time we do picks, I don't know if we did last year. I always, well, now he's got to show me, do it first.
Yeah,
So
we'll see. The next one. What's your favorite track?
Eldora, I like Volusia, Peevely, Eagle, Huset's, Gadget. Um, I'd say Lernerville. I really like Port Royal. When it's on the boards, Port Royal's awesome. When it's after 5 inches of rain, or if they put new clay on the place and overwatered, I don't like it. But when it's slick to the boards, that place is awesome.
Was I thought you'd say Knoxville was your favorite.
Well, I've had to be there the last 3 years so much. I'm glad to leave.
No,
You know that That's the misconceptions. People think I don't like it. I was like, no, I love it. I just don't want to be here all the time. So I've kind of had my fill of the place. So I mean, it's on the list, but shit, it's so obvious. Everybody says Knoxville. I just
Yeah.
don't say it because everybody says it.
I was surprised you said Eldora.
Oh, I love that. That's probably my favorite.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Least favorite. I know one.
Which one's that?
Williams Grove.
Anymore, I don't. I think the tires we run screwed that place up. I just ever since we've got the last couple rounds of different tires, the racing there hasn't been overly stellar. I wouldn't say it's my least favorite, but it's probably on the top. It probably podiums. So
What are the other ones?
just wherever it's dark and you can't see. I really don't have a place I hate because I've gone to places I don't like and won, and it's pretty cool. There's a couple places in New York, I can't think of their names, but they're just so unsafe that we shouldn't be there. I can't think of them off the top of my heads.
Lebanon Valley.
Yep, that's one of them. Middletown, did I say that right?
Orange County.
Yeah, yeah,
That's Middletown. Yeah, that place is dark. No, that's
yeah.
definitely dark.
I miss going to Rolling Wheels, man. Them guys would haul ass around there.
I remember going to Syracuse and then going over to Rolling Wheels and moving.
Yeah,
Moving.
flying.
Yes, absolutely. Building a team. I talk about this a lot. You and I have talked about this a lot. I think it's what do you start with first? I mean, obviously you need money. That's the obvious thing. You need an owner with money.
Right.
But aside from that, you're building your own team. What do you start with? What's the most important thing?
Oh, boy, that's quite a broad umbrella. I think I think you need infrastructure. I think you need a place to work on the thing at. I know the shop and the trailer don't win you races, but it sure as hell makes things a lot easier. You need a good group of people around you, that's all rowing the boat in the same direction. I've said it before, you need an engine program that's as good as you can get. That's probably the big two or three things is having, your foundation and just people, sports teams. It's, how many Tom Brady's won how many Super Bowls?
7.
Has the supporting cast all been superstars?
No.
But they get along and they work really good together. I would say if everybody's got the same common goal in mind, then that's probably one after the infrastructure.
Crew chief or driver, which one do you pick first?
If I'm an owner,
Yes,
crew chief.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, they used to I still remember when they would build teams around like crap, I can see their faces when Kenny Woodruff had the Ford car, the New Mexico lieutenant governor,
Casey Luna.
Casey Luna. He was loyal to Kenny.
Yes.
Drivers tried to get rid of him. He was loyal to Kenny and won a couple championships and had some success and all that. There for a while, I think a lot of owners kind of got starstruck a little bit, and went kind of the driver route. Well, other than Sammy and maybe Jason Myers, how many driver controlled teams have you ever seen successful?
Not many.
Yeah. So if I'm an owner, I pick a crew chief and, you know, who can you work with? Obviously you want to hire someone that, obviously that knows the mechanics and all that, but they ain't going to crash the truck and trailer. Your stuff's going to look nice and presentable. They're going to handle sponsors correctly. They're not going to steal from you. So that's all stuff you have to look at. Also, just the wrenches don't have, I mean, that's probably the biggest part still, but there's some other factors in hiring somebody to do stuff
Yeah, you don't want
to
stuff walking out the
work
back door.
there.
You don't want stuff walking out the
Do
back.
what?
You don't want stuff
No,
walking out the back door.
no.
And I think too, the crew chief does the ordering, does keeps everything right. Look, I'm not saying a driver's not important. I'm saying your crew chief.
Well, they're actually at the end of the day, they're the most important. When once you get going, they're the most important, but someone's still gotta run the show.
Well,
Someone's still gotta be the roadie. So, I mean, if I'm an owner, I'm hiring a crew chief first and then, all right, let's go get a driver.
yeah,
But
no,
maybe that's because I'm a crew chief.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I agree with you, and I'm a media member. So
Yeah.
situation. I say this a lot. Greg Hodnett, the late Greg Hodnett, was with Al Hamilton, great owner, Hall of Fame owner, was with Moon Buyers, Timmy Elwell. They had a good crew and everything. It didn't work. I think more than ever, situation is so important. How do you see that? You mentioned it a little bit. Everybody's got to work together well. I think situation's almost more important than the star crew chief or the star driver, and then things just not working. I think you need guys who can mesh.
Yeah, yeah, and you need to this is an ego-driven sport. You need to leave your ego at the door. I hate to steal a Minnesota Gophers football theme, row the boat, but everybody's got to be rowing in the right direction. If you get a guy that's a crew chief, and you get a second guy or a third guy that keeps firing out smart ass comments, but that's not what I would do, or second guessing you don't need that either. So just, I mean, the formula for success is right there. Why do you think Steve Kinzer had Scott Gherkin? Here you go, run this thing. So that's going back to my last theory. I know Steve owned the car, but Steve just drove the shit out of it and paid the bills. Scott run the show, built the engines and all that. So,
Well, look,
the successful formulas have been there in front of us forever. It's just a lot of us, our egos won't let us do it.
look at Rico and Ricky this year. They get along.
Yeah.
They,
Yeah. You
they-
never hear a crossword between them at all. I mean, you never hear raised voices or any of that. So yeah, it's kind of dangerous.
well, and I even go to KKR, the way it's structured. Yeah, I'm sure Brad and Eric will chirp, but at the end of the day, on Monday, you're answering to Justin Adams and Casey Kane.
Right.
I
Correct.
call Justin Adams the fixer, because if there's a problem, it goes to him, and then if Casey has to come down, that's a problem.
Yeah. Well, that's what I've always told guys. It's like, hey, if there's an issue, let's handle this in house.
Yeah.
The bosses are spending enough money as it is. They don't have to do this. So if there's something that can be resolved, we need to take care of it.
Is there a driver who you like that maybe people don't know is good, and he just hasn't found the right situation yet?
Kind of hoping it's Corey.
I was going to say, I mean, I kind of led you down. I just don't know if Corey has found that right situation yet. And I think he might have now. I mean, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I hope so. Well, here's another thing I'll throw at you. I mean, I don't know if I'm talking out my ass a little bit, but would Logan Schuchart maybe be more successful in a different situation?
I don't know.
He's turned the riches though for so much. I don't know if he can give that up though either. So, you know, I don't really know how to answer that question. One, nothing, no one really sticks out to me a little bit. Guys like younger guys that really haven't hit the road, like, at the end of the year, we raced with Austin McCarl quite a bit. I sometimes wonder how good he would be, because he does a pretty good job, you know, being the crew chief, you know, doing half the truck driving. I think he manages the team and driving it. I always kind of wondered, someone like him, it's like, hey, if you give him a couple of years just where he just had to show up and drive the
Right.
car and give feedback and do all that, I kind of wonder what their ceiling would be.
I have an interesting story, and I've told this, and you might have heard, I might have said it to you. Brent Marks, I think, was in a couple bad situations where he would own the team. He was on the road with the Outlaws, doing it all himself. Then he went to CJB, and I don't think it was a great situation. I think he learned a lot from Barry, and I think he learned to turn this off when he went on the track. And now look at his situation. I think it's one of the best in the country. I'm doing my a national poll, and I have him fourth overall. 2 years, over $1 million. Something clicked after that CJB deal. So I think when he was first on his own, it wasn't a great situation because he was doing too much. Then I think he went and learned a little at CJB, maybe not the greatest situation for him. And then when he got back to his own team, he took everything from those first two, meshed it together, and took off.
Well, sometimes from people, you have your mentors and people you look up to. I'm sure you have in the media deal, but
Gary
it's
Ray,
sometimes it's better to learn from those people and certain people what not to do.
yeah.
That's just as important what to do. And I'll give Brent props. He's kind of like the silent assassin. Doesn't say much, not that flashy. He's not going to cut a mind-blowing promo at the dash draw or anything like that. But when you look up at the end of the night, he's usually on the board or getting his picture taken.
That's an interesting. He is the silent assassin.
See, now if he uses that, that's fine, but I need royalties.
I'll tell him that. I
Yeah.
should. I call him up every once in a while to see what's going on, but I'll tell him. He actually, and that is true. He isn't a big talker. I don't think he walks around the pit area much.
Isn't his nickname the Myerstown Missile?
Yeah,
He's like the Myerstown mild man.
yeah. The
Yeah, I don't think he'd say shit if he had a mouthful. Now, I don't know him on a personal level, and he's always been friendly and nice to me and, chit chat and stuff like that. But I've never heard him running this trap or, stirring shit up with anybody. So,
No, he
you know,
kind of.
there's another classic case is the guy just keeps to himself, doesn't worry about what the guy next to him's doing or what his buddy's doing or, what trick of the week is. He just makes work what he's got and good for him.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
He definitely sticks to what he does best. Doesn't walk around and get information. He doesn't get in everybody's. I don't know if I see him talk to many guys at all.
I don't like when we walk by, I'll say, "Hey, how's it going?" But I don't see him
Yeah.
jumping, which really I don't think any of these drivers do that much anymore, but him especially.
Well,
Just
it's
kind of
whatever
keeps
he's
his head
doing.
down.
Whatever he's
Yeah,
doing.
maybe we ought to change that. Maybe we ought to get him gabbing with people, slow him down. I'm gonna
Maybe.
go fuck with him this year.
Well, you should because you're going to race against him.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. Brent, I think he's got ice water in the veins, but Heath and Fudd, I can get them stirred up a little bit.
There you go. Yeah, you
Yeah.
gotta love Heat.
Oh yeah. How can you not love Heath?
Oh my, yeah, he gets
Yeah.
fired up. Although he had a
Yeah.
kid now,
Yeah,
so
well, I don't. Yeah, well, maybe his Johnny Rain Cloud persona might turn into partly cloudy with some rays of sunshine.
partly cloudy with a chance of showers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I love him. He's been around a long time, and he's a good dude.
He
He's a
is.
good dude. Yeah, I don't really want to talk to many people at the racetrack, but he's one that I'll stop and bullshit with. And it's kind of funny. You see these guys when they're younger, now they're having kids, and it's like, holy cow, I didn't see that 10, 15 years ago. And I'm not just necessarily talking about him. I'm just talking about people in general.
Right.
So, hell, I'm a grandpa. Who would ever thought that?
Look, Grandpa Tyler.
Papa Ty.
Yep, big teddy bear.
Yeah, grr.
Okay,
Yeah, roar.
a little uncomfortable.
Yeah. Well, we just got done talking about prison sex and Pornhub membership, so I don't know how me grr makes you uncomfortable.
Heard it a time or two, but that's going to wrap up segment 2, SprintCarLimited.com podcast, Christmas edition. We'll be back with our last segment. Stay tuned. Moose's LZ Bar and Grill in Jonestown, PA has a history of providing great food at a great price. They have daily lunch and dinner specials, including baby back ribs on Monday, dollar tacos on Wednesday, prime rib on Friday and Saturdays, and seafood on Sunday. They also have daily drink specials. The deck is open all year round and features live entertainment May through September. For more information, go to www.mooseslz.com. Welcome to our third and final segment, SprintCarUnlimited.com podcast, Christmas edition. We're here with the always lovable bear, Tyler Swank.
Grr.
So I'm going to throw some things at you real quick. This wasn't on our podcast plan. Answer honestly. Don't worry about who it affects. And you can elaborate. Best driver in the country, sprint car right now.
Brad Sweet, Brent Marks, David Gravel, fucking Kyle Larson.
Are they in order?
Nah, Rico's got to get thrown in there too. You know what? If you're just looking at pure on it this year, and I know he had some DNFs that were at the fault of his own, I'd say Rico.
If you were ranking them right now, who would
Oh,
be?
God damn. I thought this was
No. You're on the spot, buddy.
Okay, Brad Sweet, Rico, David, Brent, and then I don't know. Did Kyle have that good a year driving a sprint car?
Won 10 of 28 races, but he didn't run as much. So that got to come into play.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Okay. Well, you're close to mine.
That's more than 30%.
I went Brad, David, Rico, Brent, and then I went Carson Macedo. But I held the only 28 races against Kyle's sixth on my list.
Yeah. I'm a big Phillip fan, Dietz. But
Good.
I don't know if, every once in a while you have years to where, for whatever the reason, you don't do as good as what you did the years before and all that. And I think they kind of went through some struggles this year. I just, since Philip's my friend, I hope that's just unless we're racing with him, I hope that's just a 1 year thing. But, he had a lot thrown at him. He's a team owner and he's a dad now, and now he's a dad times two. So all that changes you. So they'd say. So
he had to overcome injuries for Carson too this year.
Yeah, true. Carson busted his ass a couple times too. So they'll be interesting to see how they bounce back and do. I'm sure they'll be just fine.
Yeah, my list can change. I didn't put it out yet. I'm just putting stuff in, and I'm going to release it tonight. You have Corey Eliason as a driver, and I want to let the audience know you picked. I mean, that was your choice. Okay, that's next question.
Yeah, we only had realistically probably three options. Maybe we had a whole plethora of options. Not a plethora, but quite a few, and he's the one that just made the most sense.
Who would somebody you haven't worked with, who would you really like to work with? The field is open. You can pick any guy to work with. Who would it be?
Sunshine.
Whoa. You surprised me. I thought you'd say David Gravel because you have a relationship.
But I've already worked with him.
That's true.
Yeah.
Why Tyler Courtney?
So Sunshine or Zeb? I like Zeb too. I think it's the older I get, the more it's got to do with personality matches. Okay. So he's pretty laid back and just kind of does his thing, and I think he's a good race car driver. And I wish I could give you some long drawn out freaking reason, but that's whether it'll happen or not, you'd never know. But I'd say Sunshine and Zeb, probably the two.
Biggest win of your career?
Kings Royal.
With Kerry.
The Iron Man was cool with Sheldon. The Iron Man was cool with Kerry, too. We went on a tear there where if we weren't first, we were podium. So, like the ones that are probably the most satisfying-ish and you don't want to be in them, and I wouldn't say on a prestigious level it's the biggest, but this year we won the Hard Knocks night after crashing our preliminary night. From a satisfaction standpoint and I tell you what, when he was coming down the front stretch to take the checkered, the anxiety just went away, like completely. Oh, okay. It's like, there we go. From a satisfaction standpoint in recent history, that was probably, I don't want to say it was the biggest of my career, but that one was pretty cool.
Fair enough. 3 bucket list races that you haven't won.
Knoxville Nationals. I'd like to win one at Williams Grove again. It doesn't matter if it's just a regular race
Right.
or something. And I think it would be cool, something at Lernerville, like a silver cup or a nut cup or whatever kind of cup they have out there. Red Solo Cup. It'd be cool. I've won out there before a couple times, but it'd be really cool to win one of those. Hell, I don't know. Maybe ask me a year from now because, between the Outlaws and the High Limits, they got all these high paying races. I don't know. I mean, can you call the Skagit race now a crown jewel? Is it the
Wow.
prestige of hold on. Is it the prestige of the event or is it the money?
For me, it's prestige. There's 3 crown jewels, and that's it.
The Royal, the National Open, and the Nationals.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah.
there's some that are flirty. Okay, Tuscarora 50s, getting,
Yeah.
to me, you got to have prestige and payoff. You can't be a $12,000 to win race and be a crown jewel. The Gold Cup, I think, will
Right.
come back. I think Brad Sweet's going to make sure that race, comes back to being a huge, huge race.
Right.
So I'm okay with that. Um, but I need to see it for a year or two yet.
I get it.
So I'm
Next
gonna
question.
some favorite TV show.
Oh crap! It's something with WWE, which is more. It's not really, like I'll watch Raw and SmackDown, but I do it for the promos, and I'm a big business advocate or something on. There's on my Hulu. There's always Family Guy on, and sometimes you just need to crack up at stupid shit.
Family Guy. Then
Yeah.
favorite movie.
Uh, I'm not a big movie guy. Major
Oh,
League,
okay. Comedies.
probably Major League. Yeah, I like The Wolf of Wall Street too. I'm see Austin. The night shifts leaving. Favorite movie. I like actors. I like Kevin Costner, Mel Gibson, and I like a couple of those movies. I shouldn't, but I say this like with the asterisks by it because he's kind of turned into a weirdo. But I was always a Kevin Spacey fan. I thought he was so good. And Nicholas Cage. So, but he's kind of been in some cheesy shit lately.
Oh boy, there's some clunkers. No,
Mhm.
uh, I'm a big movie guy. So, I mean, I'll watch almost anything. But Gary Oldman, um, Braveheart with Mel Gibson's one of my top 5.
Yeah.
Has to be. Um, trying to think.
Well,
Shit.
this weekend this weekend, the last couple of days, I sent the boys on a road trip to pick a bunch of stuff up, and Aaron was trying to get his stuff ready before he left for Australia today. And we kindly got the internet, the TV hooked up in here, and for 2 solid days we watched movies. But the prerequisite, everyone here knows I'm not a movie guy. I finally watched. The prerequisite was when he put a movie on the thing. He's like, "Have you seen this?" Yeah, actually seen that one. Okay, we'll watch this one. You haven't seen it? No. So I watched like 5 or 6 movies the last couple days that Aaron, put on the TV that I haven't seen. I'm not a movie guy. I go home, I hot lap the house, I run a vacuum, I play fishing pole with the cat, and I go to bed. I'm not a TV guy unless it's sports. I just not that interested in TV.
I watch movies. What movies did you see this weekend or over the 2 days?
We watched Bad News Bears, Bad Santa, Badder Santa.
Oh,
There was one I didn't catch the title of it. It kind of freaked me the fuck out. And then we played Anchorman, and there was a couple others that had like some community. We watched the Chappelle show.
Okay.
I've seen bits and pieces of the old Chappelle show, so he had it on. It's like, man, only a black guy could get away with saying stuff like that. It was
Yeah,
awesome.
and only Dave Chappelle at this point in time. That's for sure. Best
Correct.
young,
Because he's
best young.
grandfathered in. I mean,
Well, he is, but he's taking a lot of crap now, so
yeah.
it's catching up to him a little bit. Did I lose
Yeah.
you? Uh,
Nah, you're froze, kind
that's all
of.
right.
I'm here.
Yep. Best young driver in the country. Uh,
Best young driver. Did
below
you ask
20.
me who the best young driver in the
Yeah, 21 or younger.
country was?
What's that?
Here, let's. We're gonna migrate out into the shop. We're gonna migrate out into the shop. See if the internet's a little better out there.
Okay.
Young Corey Day. Everybody's on the Corey Day bandwagon, and I think I am too. Is this any better? Am I still frozen?
Yeah, but you're good.
Am I? Hey,
Yeah.
look, America. There's the one and only tour you're gonna get of RSR.
Well, I won't keep you long. Corey Day, your guy.
I would say so. Young, him or Zeb.
I'm gonna
Young
say
guys. My jury's still out on Ryan Timms because I think he's messed around in midgets too long right now. I'm not writing him off completely, but
no. I agree. I'm gonna say Corey Day, which I think was a huge acquisition for High Limit, and I'm gonna say Buddy Kofoid. He's 21 now.
does he even? I guess he is young, but seems like he's been around for 5 or 6 years now. So
Yeah, yeah. He'll have
and,
probably an announcement real soon. I assume with the Roth cars, but yeah, you're better now.
yeah,
Jesus.
hey, look at me. Yeah, I'm standing right next to the router, which is next to the shitter.
Well, don't go in the shitter.
Well, you got to have your phone working so you can watch reels and look at all the goss while you're taking a dump.
Not me. I get in,
Yeah.
I get out.
Yeah, I do my best. I do my best meme hunting on the toilet.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
You save those best moments for when you're at work, not at home.
yeah, correct. When I'm at home, I just want to sit there. When I'm here, I got to work on race cars and hunt memes for all my people, my
There,
my
there,
my
there you,
pleth, my cult, my
there you,
followers.
you need a Twitter page.
I got one, but I'm not. I lurk. I don't follow. I think I followed like one person on accident.
Why does? What are you doing for Christmas?
The girls are coming Saturday. I'm kind of stressing out about it because I think I got all the presents bought and wrapped and all that stuff. But we always just used to do biscuits and gravy. That's was our thing for Christmas. They would make it and all that. Well, I ran my trap about cooking and making stuff. So yeah, I got son-in-law making the ham balls, and I'm going to try to talk him into doing the cheesy potatoes, but then I'm going to do the rest. So I got to go shopping tonight. But Saturday, the girls and the grandkids coming over all day. And then Monday morning, Riley, my youngest, and I were heading to Missouri to my mom and dad's. They got the hell out of town and bought a house down by the lake down on Table Rock. So we're going to go down there for a couple days, but then come back here and I'm going to work. I'm not going to do anything fun for New Year's or anything like that. So I'm
I
an
don't.
old man, Jeremy. I'm tired.
Well, you're going to be doing more than me. I know that. I'm gonna
Yeah.
see my parent. I'm gonna see my parents. My mom's sick, so I don't know if I'm gonna be able to see her. She has the vid, so
Ooh,
that's a problem. I mean, she's okay. She just, I
feels
don't.
crappy.
Yeah, I just don't know if that'll be over by then. And I'm gonna be low key. I'll be watching movies. The movies you don't watch, I'll be watching.
Well, you're gonna have to send me a list of stuff that I'm not gonna watch over the off season, which we're just about out of off season.
What off season's that?
I don't know. The PRI show, I guess. Hey, how's the off season going? I don't know. We just got here because we raced a couple weeks past Charlotte.
Well,
We went down to Oklahoma with Aaron, and I brought Corey down there to try to speed up the learning curve a little bit. And so there is no off season anymore.
No, in fact, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I know for me, even I'm working on some projects. I'd like to develop 2 YouTube shows in the off season to do that would go free to the public. Obviously, just expanding the sprintcarunlimited.com brand. It's just covering races isn't hard. It's more the other stuff, I guess, for you building cars and stuff. And for me, we're taking a week off from the podcast. This will be the last one for the year. Then Ryan and I, when we come back, hope to have a new intro, maybe some new things leading up to it, but who knows? But Tyler, thank you very much for coming on. It's always a pleasure. Always good to have you on. I'm sure we'll have you on during the year when you win, 10, 15 races.
The goal is to get a charter. We can run 6 every night. I don't care. Let's just get a charter. That's the goal.
Okay, one big show. You want one big show too.
That would be kind of cool. And it'd be nice if it was the 1.5 miles down that way.
Corey's good at Knoxville.
He is. And he likes it.
Yeah.
You know what's funny about him? I said, "Hey, where's your favorite racetrack?" He goes, "Volusia." And I said, "It's your favorite?" And he goes, "Well, it's one of them." I've never heard a driver go, "Man, I love Volusia."
Okay,
Most of them dread going there.
he runs well there.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure I could fuck that up.
No, you run well there. You've been fast there.
Yeah, no, we're gonna be okay. I'm just being a humble smartass.
Yeah. We'll wait for you to cut the promo when you're leading the high limit points.
Yeah. Well, there won't be no promo cut. If we get lucky and win that thing, I'll cut a promo, but I'm not going to do it way ahead of time.
You'll run naked through Newton, Iowa.
Well, I'm almost 47. I'll be 47 by then. There ain't no. I might get one of them scooters and scoot along the sidewalk.
We'll have to make a bet.
Yeah.
So, Tyler, again, thank you for coming on the show. I appreciate it. It's fun to do this every year. And again, wish you nothing but luck this season with Corey Eliason.
Hey, thanks for having me. And the address hasn't changed, so you can send my royalty check there for doing your show to get 10 or 15 more. Well, that's just free. So, hell, everybody can watch it now. So, yeah, everybody have a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Don't do anything stupid. Don't drink and drive. And I'd say be nice to one another, but then I'd have to practice what I preach. So never mind.
Well, Merry Christmas to everybody. And we'll be back with another show once the calendar flips over to 2024. Stay tuned.